Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the 100, Season 1, Episode 5, Twilight's Last Gleaming, and this episode was great. It wasn't as intense as the last two episodes have been, but this episode was still really, really good, because in this episode, we finally have someone from the Ark go to Earth to help all them out, and we get a little bit more information on everything, basically. And I love that about this episode. Basically, it was all about Raven coming to Earth to help them out. But we found out a lot of stuff about this. Also, I'm starting to think that Clarke should be the leader here because of something she did. But let's get to the episode. Of course, first we're going to talk about Earth, and then we're going to talk about everything that happened on the Ark. Both plots were very interesting this week. Sometimes the Ark can be a little bit boring. This week, that was not the case. It was actually really interesting. So Clarke and Finn, they just had sex and everything, and she wants to get up, but he wants to lie in bed all day, and she tells him that she wanted him to be her first, and they kiss some more. You can definitely see that they're starting to, they're very quickly becoming a couple, and I like it. I just think it's a little too fast, and, they're outside, taking a breather outside, because they decide to go outside, and they notice a shooting star, but that's actually not a shooting star. It's Raven in her escape pod, and we see her get there. She has a cut on her face and everything, and she's trying to, get to Earth, and basically she's made it. But Bellamy sees it, and he decides to wait till sunrise to discover what exactly is there. So eventually they realize, that it is Raven, that's there. They realize that. But before that happened, Bellamy tells, they're not really sure where Bellamy is. They don't know where Bellamy is, so Octavia looks for Bellamy. She finds Bellamy, and he tells her that he shot Jaha because he found out that they were sending her to the ground, and it turns out Jaha floated their mother and locked up Octavia. So remember when Octavia was locked up, that was all Jaha, so that was definitely pretty interesting when we found that out, that he definitely is a bone to pick with Jaha. I mean, Bellamy's a pretty intense character, and we saw that more in this episode. I mean, we already knew that, but basically, Bellamy investigates the escape pod on his own, cuts all radio contact before Raven wakes up, and he leaves. And Finn finds Raven, and she kisses him in front of Clarke, and here it's finally revealed that, remember that guy she said was there for her all that time? That boyfriend that she was talking about was Finn. And we basically suspected that Finn and Raven were together before Finn got sent to Earth, but this episode confirms that, and Clarke, you can definitely see, is very jealous. They're right in front of Clarke, and you can definitely see that Finn's happy to see Raven. However, I think he's moved on from Raven. He's now with Clarke, and I think he's kind of moved on from her. But Raven tells Clarke that the escape pod was Abby's idea, and Jaha plans on killing 300 people, and that's the reason why she was sent there, so they could stop it somehow. So Octavia's trying to run away, but she falls onto a hill instead, and Raven tells Clarke and Finn that Bellamy shot Jaha, and they suspect him of destroying the radio. But Raven does tell them that Jaha isn't dead, and they have nothing to worry about. So luckily, Jaha's okay. And one of the great things here is that Clarke actually confronts Bellamy and says, "Look, Bellamy, you actually have something to be happy about, because it shows that you want to protect your sister, and that's what you care about the most, is that you want to protect your sister." And you can definitely see that Clarke, as I said, I think Clarke is a very good leader. I'd like to see Clarke as the leader rather than Bellamy. I think Clarke would be a great leader, and we kind of saw that in this episode, that she has great leadership skills. Because, again, Clarke tries to help everyone out, it seems, and she realizes the reality of everything that's going on, and when it's time to be tough, she can be tough, things like that. And Raven kind of ends up helping them out with this whole 300 people dying situation. She kind of helps them with it. They decide to, she basically says, hey, even though the radio is broken, that doesn't mean there isn't a way for us to send out some sort of a sign, a signal. They decide to make flares to make signals to the Ark, and instant radio contact, and that's what they end up doing. And it seems like everything's okay until Octavia wakes up. When Octavia wakes up, she sees this creepy man towering over her. He looked like a half man, half human, so I have no idea what's going on there. But that's everything that happened on the Earth this week, and I was really into that plot this week. I like seeing Raven. I hope Raven and Clarke I'm kind of thinking Raven and Clarke might end up teaming up, you know, possibly to save all of them. Because Raven and Clarke seem like they're going to become pretty good friends, and I hope Raven stays there because I think she's going to be the one to, you know, help them and everything. So I'm thinking that Clarke, you know, and Raven are actually going to end up being the leaders by the end of this season. I'm hoping that happens because I don't like Bellamy as a leader personally. I don't think he's a good leader. He has not shown any good leadership skills. He's very, like, violent and things like that. I do not think Bellamy's a good leader, in my opinion. I think Clarke and Raven are good leaders, you know, not Bellamy. Let's get to the Ark, because there was a lot going on in the Ark this week. There was actually more going on in the Ark than there was going on Earth this week, which is actually interesting. So the Chancellor Jaha tells Abby that Kane's population reduction called Section 17 will begin, and that's going to eliminate 320 people. So Abby wants to hear from Raven on the Earth, but Jaha's not willing to take the risk. Probably because, you know, the radio thing is down. He doesn't want to try right now because he doesn't really know how to fix the radio or anything like that. They still have those radio problems. So again, they still think everyone on Earth is dead. So yeah, that's the whole reason why they sent the flares out, to show people that they weren't dead. But Abby's been released, continues her medical checkups, and she examines this girl, Reese, who I actually really like. I like this little girl. She's kind of like Charlotte, but not as creepy. She's this young girl with optic nerve damage due to the lack of oxygen, and you can see that definitely they want to help out this girl, because they don't want this girl to die, obviously, so they really want to help her. So Kane briefs Jaha on the sleep-inducing gas to be emitted through the air to reduce the population, and Jaha agrees with the plan and will leave Kane to do the job. Jaha plans on joining Section 17. Section 17 is where, you know, you kind of sacrifice people go. You know, you sacrifice yourself, you go to Section 17. So then on the Ark, Abby confronts Jaha for wanting to die and leaving Kane in charge to be the next Chancellor. Abby tells Jaha that they can put people in comas to reduce their energy consumption and they don't have to die. So I thought that was a good thing, you know, that no one really ended up dying. So Abby decides to broadcast Jake's video message about the oxygen supply. She also manages to broadcast a message of Kane's population reduction plan. And so Reese's father and many others sacrifice themselves. They decide to volunteer to, you know, force Section 17. And again, they're not going to die. They're just going to be in comas. So they're gathered around. Jaha ends up shutting down their oxygen supply. Which, you know, they're just in comas. Again, they're not dead. He shut down their oxygen supply. Even though they've done this and they've talked about Section 17, they see something weird heading right in the, you know, heading right in the window above them. It looks like an asteroid or something that's heading right towards them. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what's coming for them, but whatever that is, it's not going to be good. But overall, I love this episode. I thought it was another great episode. There's a lot of things I am kind of wondering about, though. Again, Bellamy, I don't think is a good leader. I don't think that Bellamy has good leadership skills at all. It's not so much that Bellamy is a, you know, terrible, I just don't think Bellamy's right for the job. I think Clarke and Raven are definitely better for this, especially Raven. We definitely saw that Raven has very good leadership skills, and I'm wondering if Raven's going to stay there, because I don't know if she's going to be able to head back to Earth. Remember, the whole reason she's here is so Abby can know if Clarke is alive or not. That's the whole reason she's here. But I don't really know if Raven is going to be able to make it back. I'm not really sure. Also, I thought it was interesting that Finn and Raven, you know, were dating before. I am wondering if we're having, like, a Raven-Clarke-Finn triangle. I don't know if that's going to happen. But, you know, I guess we'll just have to see what happens there. Also, that creepy thing behind Octavia, I don't know what that's going to lead to. Whatever happens, it looks like next week it's going to try to attack everyone. And it's going to be another really intense episode next week. I like that this one wasn't as intense. It was kind of just a, you know, since last week's was so intense and some really big things happened, this was kind of a calmer type of episode. It was all about survival and everything. Still about survival. I mean, that's what this whole show's about. It's all about survival and things like that. And I think that's why it's such a great show, and that's why it's becoming, you know, definitely one of my favorite shows, I think. I think it really is a great show. And, the other thing I'm wondering is, that thing that's heading for them towards Earth, whatever's heading towards them, I don't know what that is, but I have a feeling that the arc, by the season finale, is going to be no more. And here's why I'm thinking that. More and more people from the arc are leaving. You know, Raven's leaving, Abby was trying to leave, but she didn't leave. All these Section 17 members have now, all these other members have gone to Section 17, so I kind of have a feeling that the arc is just, it's gonna be gone by the end of the season. I don't know if that's an asteroid or something like that, but if that is an asteroid, then it's going to destroy everything. Plus, they have no computer to track anything about them. They don't know where I don't know if they saw the flares or anything like that. I don't know if they saw them. But they don't have a computer to track them, so I kind of have a feeling that the whole arc is going to be gone by the end of the season, and I'd actually love for that to happen. We're now in the halfway point of the season. I don't know if there's 10 episodes or 13 episodes. I believe there's, how many episodes are there this season? 10 or 13, let me see. Because I don't know. I don't know if there's 10 episodes or 13 episodes this season. Let me just check. I don't know if there's going to be 10 or, as I said, I don't know if there's going to be 10 or 13, but however many there are, I feel like, you know, we're not in a game-changing episode yet, but I feel like definitely that's what's going to happen by the end of this season, that the arc is going to be gone, and everyone from the arc is going to have to survive on Earth. I'd love for that to happen, and I think that's probably where we're going with this, because that thing in the Earth is probably going to end up destroying the arc and things like that. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Do you think that Clarke and Raven are better leaders than Bellamy? I feel like they are. I don't know what that is. I feel like they're going to become really good friends, and they're going to be really good leaders. I feel like that's what's going to happen. What is that thing? What is that thing that is about to attack Octavia? What does it want? What do we call it? I don't know what to call it. It looks like Bigfoot or something like that, because it's half man, half human. It's like half animal, half human. It's weird. And what is that thing heading for the arc? What's going to happen there? And also, are all those Section 17 members dead, or are they just in a coma? They didn't really say what they were doing with that. They said they were all going to end up in a coma, but I'm not sure if they are still doing that. But that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for my next review, which will be my review of The Americans. So see you then. Bye.